Hello, I'm John Cunningham, and welcome to our new show, Small Stocks, Big Money. For those of you new to the show, RedChip Companies is an investor relations, media, and research firm focused on emerging growth companies. Our unique platform combines global multimedia with traditional investor relations, reaching investors around the world. Today's show features interviews with executives of 3 public companies. First up is KnightScope, stock symbol KSCP on the NASDAQ. KnightScope is on a long-term mission to make the U.S. the safest country in the world through the development and deployment of advanced autonomous security solutions. We'll learn more when we speak with the CEO later in the show. Up next is Soligenix, stock symbol SNGX on the NASDAQ. Soligenix is a late-stage biopharmaceutical company developing innovative treatments for rare diseases with unmet medical needs. The company's primary focus is on its specialized biotherapeutics business segment, which is responsible for the development of Hybrite, a novel treatment for T-cell lymphoma. The company has successfully completed a phase 3 study for Hybrite and is now negotiating a confirmatory phase 3 pivotal study design with the FDA. We'll learn more when we speak with the president and CEO later in the show. Next up is Genetic Technologies, stock symbol GENE on the NASDAQ. Genetic Technologies is a diversified molecular diagnostic company offering predictive disease testing and assessment tools to help physicians to improve health outcomes for people around the world. We'll learn more when we speak with the CEO later in the show. Now, before we get to our first interview, our quote of the week, it comes from the book Small Stocks, Big Money. You can be happy with the companies you own, but you may not be happy with their stock performance. If you know what you're investing in and you're patient, you'll have a day when the market recognizes the value, but that may not be today or tomorrow. This quote comes from Byron Roth, CEO of Roth Capital, featured in Chapter 7 of Small Stocks, Big Money. This is a book of exclusive interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Get a digital copy on Amazon today for just $18. Quick question. Are you interested in gaining a deeper understanding of the companies featured on Small Stocks, Big Money? If so, be sure to join us for our exclusive investor webinars. This is your opportunity to gain an in-depth look at our featured companies and where you can speak directly to management, giving you tremendous insights straight from the source. Visit redchip.com/events for a full calendar of upcoming webinars and register today to secure your spot at the next event. Now let's get started with our first interview today with KnightScope.
Hello, today we are joined by Bill Lee, Chairman and CEO of KnightScope. Bill, thanks for being with us.
Hey, thanks for having us. Greetings from Silicon Valley.
What is the underlying motivation that fuels your commitment to the security industry, and how does this passion drive the innovation and direction of your company, KnightScope?
So we're on a long-term mission to make the United States of America the safest country in the world. We need to give the 2.5 million officers and guards really smart eyes and ears and almost superhuman capabilities for them to be in multiple locations at the same time. And it's driven primarily by 2 things. I guess on a professional standpoint, I'm an ex-automotive executive. I think self-driving autonomous technology is going to turn the world upside down. We have a different path to commercializing that technology. And then on the personal side of things, I was born in New York. Someone hit my town on 9/11. I'm still profoundly ticked off about it. So the rest of my life, I'm dedicated to better securing our country.
Could you provide a comprehensive explanation of the machine-as-a-service business model employed by KnightScope, highlighting its distinctive features and benefits for your clients and, of course, the company itself?
Yeah, so we work for Big Brother, and we build these autonomous security robots that are going to take everyone's job and kill it. Oh, sorry, wrong interview. No, we build these autonomous security robots to help the officers and guards do their jobs more effectively. It's in a very unique machine-as-a-service business model. It's a subscription service, so it's all-inclusive hardware, software, docking stations, firmware, data transfer, deployment, maintenance service. So an off-duty law enforcement officer armed is, it varies widely, but let's say about $85, $90 an hour. An unarmed guard is around $15 to $35 an hour. Our machines go out on this machine as a service or mass business model at an effective price of as low as 75 cents an hour to as high as $9 an hour, depending on which machine and what you want us doing.
KnightScope, Bill, offers a range of products in the field of autonomous security robotics. Can you offer an overview of your product lineup and what insights can you share regarding the global market opportunity for these innovative security solutions?
The market globally for physical security and security overall is about $500 billion, likely probably $300 billion addressable by what we intend to build. I believe long-term KnightScope, personally, I think we have a chance to build a $30 billion company that looks more like a defense contractor, but instead is focused on the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, the 19,000 law enforcement agencies, and 8,000 private security firms. With regards to the technology, it's a few things to think about. One, it's a combination of 4 really difficult technologies unto themselves. So it's autonomy or self-driving technology, robotics, AI, and electric vehicle technology. So we try to make the problem really hard and make one comprehensive solution that needs to operate 24/7 across the country. We've operated probably now 2 million hours over multiple winters and summers, and have seen a lot of crime fighting wins. If you'd like to check those out, go to knightscope.com/crime. And I think there's a huge opportunity to do 2 things for the officers and guards. One is to provide really smart eyes and ears, and these machines generate over 90 terabytes of data a year that no human's going to be able to process. So these can read license plate, they can do facial recognition, they can run thermal scans, you can speak through the machines, a lot of capabilities. The second, less obvious, is to provide a physical deterrent. So very simply, if I put a law enforcement vehicle in front of your home or your office, criminal behavior changes, right? In our case, for a lot of our clients, let's say you decided that you're going to go steal a car in the middle of the night, and you pull up into the parking lot, and there's a 5-foot tall, 400-pound machine roaming around on its own. It says police on the side, the strobe light's going, it might greet you. Like, I think you're probably going to do a double take and maybe not steal the car there. And that's literally what's been happening across the country for us and our clients.
Bill, didn't they make a movie about you, RoboCop?
There's RoboCop, Terminator, Star Wars, like every possible thing that Hollywood has done over the last 30 years has done us a service and a disservice, because people think the robots, can do, 10 million things more than they can actually yet do. But I think the next 5, 10, 15 years are going to be extremely fascinating in terms of the growth of the capabilities of these machines. What we want to do long term is be able to, in order to get to that $30 billion, is have a very wide portfolio of technologies that, criminals and terrorists can be anywhere. So we need to be everywhere. And then have these million machines and network that we want to put in place, be able to see, feel, hear, smell, and speak, and do 100 times more than a human could ever possibly do.
Sounds fascinating, Bill. And speaking of the portfolio of KnightScope, you recently acquired Case Emergency Systems, right? So where do you foresee the most significant synergies emerging between these 2 companies, and how will this collaboration enhance KnightScope's ability to serve its customers?
I think you look at the numbers, we're growing double digits, and we're likely to end this year doubling the revenue that we did last year. With the acquisition, we have over now 7,000 machines in network. And these are call boxes, blue light poles, etc. And I meant what I said earlier. If we can get all these machines to see, feel, hear, smell, and speak, is going to make a massive opportunity for us to do a public safety infrastructure upgrade with AI.
Bill, given your impressive revenue growth of over 170% from September 22 to June 2023, could you provide some insights into the strategies you believe will drive continued revenue growth for KnightScope?
3 or 4 things. I think first, just organic growth that we mentioned. A lot of our clients get to see the machines live. So if you go to knightscope.com/roadshow, we've got this crazy robot aquarium running across the country. We're probably going to hit our 100th tour stop here shortly. Second, we announced earlier this year, and hopefully here before the summer's out, we'll be deploying our first machine with the support of the NYPD brass and the mayor of New York City in Manhattan. So I think that's going to be very interesting. I think third, we have an opportunity with the U.S. federal government. We've been through this, working through an almost 3-year cybersecurity review process with the U.S. federal government. Our sponsor there is the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. So we believe in the medium term, we have some growth opportunities with the federal space. And then actually this morning, we announced a partnership with Amazon Web Services to build some new features in terms of smart parking enforcement. And we're excited to work with our friends over at AWS.
Wow, that's great news, Bill. Congratulations on that.
Thanks. Making progress one robot at a time.
Now, I know you're busy, Bill, and I just want to wrap up with one more question. What is the core value proposition for KnightScope? What compelling reasons would you be able to provide to persuade potential investors to choose KnightScope as an investment opportunity in the AI robotics sector?
I think it's real simple. Usually investors are looking at 3 things. One, do you have a technology risk? Well, these machines are operating across the country. We've done millions of hours of work and generating millions of dollars of revenue. So I think we can, kind of check the box on the technology risk. Second, do you have market risk? Well, I can assure you that the market for crime is never going to collapse. It's not like 300 million people are going to wake up tomorrow morning and start behaving. So I think market risk we don't have. So it's all about execution. And that's where we're focused. And if folks want to learn more about the rise of the robots, just go to knightscope.com/rise.
Now let's move on to our next interview today with Soligenix.
Hello there. Today we have Dr. Chris Shaber, CEO of Soligenix, which trades on the NASDAQ under the ticker symbol SNGX. Dr. Shaber, thanks for being here.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
For viewers brand new to the story, Chris, give us a brief overview of Soligenix.
Soligenix is a late clinical stage biopharmaceutical company focused on developing and commercializing products to treat rare diseases and areas of unmet medical need.
Chris, how big are the market opportunities for the programs you currently have in development?
Across our rare disease pipeline, approximately $2 billion annually. If we focus on some of our lead programs like Hybrid for cutaneous T-cell lymphoma, which is a rare and chronic cancer, in excess of 250 million worldwide, and a lot of that 2 billion is driven by the follow-on indication for the active ingredient Hybrid, that's synthetic hypericin, in which we're also developing it in psoriasis, which is in excess of $1 billion market opportunity.
You just mentioned psoriasis. Let's talk about your recently expanded phase 2 study in that disease. What are some upcoming milestones investors can expect from this program?
You're correct. We had some promising results that we announced earlier in the year on our initial 5 patients. It's a phase 2A study where we're looking to learn more about the drug administration as well as the disease indication of psoriasis in which we're treating. The first 5 was positive. We've now expanded that with an additional 5 patients and expect the results on the additional 5 before the end of the year. So by the end of the year here, we're going to have some additional data around mild to moderate psoriasis with synthetic hypericin.
Soligenix previously reported positive phase 3 results for Hybrid in early-stage cutaneous T-cell lymphoma, and discussions are currently underway with the FDA for a second confirmatory phase 3 study. Chris, what can you tell us about this program?
First, as I noted earlier, cutaneous T-cell lymphoma is a rare and chronic cancer, and with our therapy Hybrid, we treat skin lesions, which are those cancerous lesions that are cutaneous T-cell lymphoma throughout the body, and we shrink, and we demonstrate we could shrink those lesions. As you noted, we had a positive phase 3 study where we achieved our primary endpoint in the first study, and we're now in active discussions with the FDA on the design of a confirmatory phase 3 study, and hope to have that final protocol soon. I will say, we're still in those discussions, so I'm hesitant on giving details, but they are advanced, and I hope to be able to provide update on the program before the end of the year and have a clear path forward. But obviously, having a first positive phase 3 study showing the biologic activity of the drug in the disease is very important, especially in late-stage clinical studies. And we are now working with both the FDA and our clinicians and key opinion leaders to really lock this down and execute on the second study. So I'll have more information a little bit later in the year on this.
Chris, management, of course, is key to the success of smaller cap companies. Who are some of the key players on your team?
You know, you're absolutely correct, Craig. And I think it's not only management, it's boards, right? I think the board is also very critical to helping advance and grow and accelerate a company in its pipeline. For us, from a management perspective, all of my managing of many years of biotech experience, building, growing biotech companies, a number of individuals I've taken with me from one successful company to Soligenix here to do it again. And that's what we're doing with Highbright, some of our other programs, most notably my chief medical officer, my head of regulatory affairs, the person that interacts with the FDA, but also on the board side, very important. It's good to have good experience on the board level. And here we not only have a productive board, but experience in drug development, finance, business development, commercialization in rare disease setting. Most notably, Dr. Jerry Zeldis was the chief medical officer for Celgene Corporation for many years before retiring, is now on my board. And we have Miss Diane Parks and Mr. Greg Lapointe, who spent many years commercializing therapies in the rare disease setting. So I think the overall strength of management and board really help advance a company to hopefully be successful.
In summary, what is the essential value proposition? Why should investors take an interest in Soligenix today?
I think it really comes down to 5 key points, right? It's the robust, de-risked, late-stage pipeline with multiple shots on goal, with our lead candidate that's already achieved statistical significance in its primary endpoint in a phase 3 study, and we're looking to conduct that second confirmatory study. A shorter time horizon. Drug development typically takes 10, 12, 15 years. We're at the latter part of that 10 to 12-year development timeline with multiple milestones or value drivers through the next 6, 12, 18 months. We have significant market potential in areas of unmet medical need where patients and clinicians need approved therapies. We're funded into the fourth quarter of 2024, which includes non-dilutive grant funding from the U.S. government, which is very important in helping us advance our pipeline, and the potential for business development opportunities, such as partnerships and M&A.
You make a very persuasive argument, Chris. Thank you for being with us today.
Oh, my pleasure, Craig. Thank you.
Now let's move on to our next interview today with Genetic Technologies.
Hi, today we have Simon Morris, CEO of Genetic Technologies, which trades on the NASDAQ under the ticker symbol GENE. Simon, thanks for being with us once again.
Thanks for having me, Craig. It's great to be here.
We love having you. You recently reported commercial samples received for your GeneType multi-risk test jumped 250% between the first and second quarters this year. What can you tell us about the test and its extraordinary growth?
Well, it's a fantastic achievement for the team, and it's been a long time in the making. So we've spent the first 20 years investing so much effort in research and development and innovation. And the last 2 years, all of our energy has been spent on the commercialization and creating those pathways. And in the last couple of quarters, we've really started to see those physicians adopt those tests and bring them to market, hence the growth on the prior quarter. Now, I have to say, it's off a modest base, but it's absolutely fantastic to see those green shoots starting to really adopt.
Sounds fascinating, Simon. Tell us, how big is the market opportunity for your GeneType tests?
Well, the addressable market for us, with the 9 different diseases that we have in the GeneType test, we have 6 for oncology, 2 for cardiovascular, and 1 for metabolic disease, type 2 diabetes. The addressable market for us is enormous. So in the United States and in Australia alone, it's in the billions of dollars. So if you're 30 years of age or older, you're eligible to take this test and then understand your own individual risk of getting one of those serious diseases well before onset, so you can plan your surveillance with your doctors well in advance to drive that early detection. So the addressable market is absolutely huge for us going forward.
You recently announced a planned pilot study with an employer group. What will success with this pilot program mean for the company moving forward?
Yeah, we're having some fantastic conversations with payer groups, hospitals, insurance companies, and employers right across the United States and in Australia. What this means for the organisation is successful implementation of these pilot studies will lead to a brand new standard of care for individuals and really driving that early detection of that serious disease. And we know that early detection of serious disease will absolutely save lives. So it has an incredible opportunity to reshape the way precision medicine and preventative healthcare is absolutely delivered around the world.
Let's talk about your business model now, Simon. How does Genetic Technologies make money?
So we have three distinct selling channels. We have a business-to-business model, which focuses on the payers, the general practitioners, the physicians, the specialists, the insurers and the payers. That's our business-to-business model, focusing on serious disease, focusing on the GeneType brand. We have a consumer-initiated panel there, where consumers can go online, they can buy the test, and the doctors or a telehealth function will deliver the reports and the results back to the patient. And we have a direct-to-consumer model, which focuses on our EasyDNA and Affinity DNA brands. They are the three channels in which we operate. We also have licensing models, whether we in-license or out-license our tests. We have direct selling models, and we're moving into the reimbursement space down the track. So 3 distinct channels and 3 distinct revenue models for us, for our business going forward.
You know, Simon, especially with microcap companies, investors want to get to know the management team. Introduce us to the Genetic Technologies team, please.
You're absolutely right, Craig. The foundation of the success of this organization is absolutely built on the management team, starting with a supportive board that helps and get involved in developing the vision and the strategy of the organization, that then supports the team in building the right execution plan for us to achieve that vision. The executive team, my direct reports across the world, in the United States, our Director of Clinical and Scientific Affairs, Dr. Erica Spaeth. We have a Chief Medical Officer based in Connecticut, Dr. Joel Evans. We have our Chief Commercial Officer based in Sydney, Carl Stubbings, and our Chief Financial Officer and Company Secretary based in Melbourne here, Tony DiPietro. Those 4 critical stakeholders are absolutely pivotal in helping us achieve our execution plans. We've just put on a new marketing team in the United States as well, and a new marketing agency to help us execute the vision for us for the future about becoming leaders in preventative health and precision medicine. So the depth of talent in our organization in clinical, scientific, sales and marketing is growing by the week, and we're really excited about the future of this organization.
Now, in summary, Simon, give us the essential value proposition. Why should investors take an interest in Genetic Technologies right now?
Well, the future of precision medicine is absolutely here right now. The GeneType risk assessment tests can improve the health of populations worldwide through early detection of serious disease. Where there may be no family history, we integrate genetic and clinical risk factors through AI and machine learning technologies. So early detection will save lives, and we're seeing this implemented across practices around the United States and Australia every single week. And we know that early detection will save lives, and it's absolutely essential to know your risk. So we are at the cutting edge and the forefront of precision medicine and preventative healthcare.
It's a wonderful story, Simon. I love to hear it from you. Thank you for being with us today.
Thanks, Craig. It's great to be here.
Now let's recap the companies you met today. First, you met KnightScope, stock symbol KSCP on the NASDAQ. The company's fully autonomous security robots and their blue light emergency communication systems help protect the places people live, work, study, and visit. With more than 2 million hours of operational history in its solutions, KnightScope's groundbreaking technology has proven to help in fighting crime, providing security and public safety professionals unprecedented situational awareness. Then you met Soligenix, stock symbol SNGX on the NASDAQ. Soligenix has a robust pipeline of multiple fast-track and orphan-designated products, and they're targeting commercial opportunities totaling more than $2 billion. With late-stage clinical assets, ongoing collaborations, non-dilutive funding, and experienced management, Soligenix is ideally positioned for strong returns. For more information, please visit sngxinfo.com. Then you met Genetic Technologies, stock symbol GENE on the NASDAQ. Genetic Technologies is executing a B2B commercialization strategy for its flagship gene-type multi-risk test, covering breast cancer, colorectal cancer, prostate cancer, ovarian cancer, coronary artery disease, and type 2 diabetes. This is a first-in-class test that can predict a person's risk and up to 70% of annual mortalities and morbidities before onset. Genetic Technologies' expanding product portfolio includes more than 50 risk assessment tests in 14 test categories covered by 25 patents granted and 9 patents pending. Learn more at genetechinfo.com. In closing, remember, while small caps can provide significant gains, you must be prepared for the downside. Small cap stocks are among the most volatile asset class. Some of the companies featured on this show are RedChip client companies, and we may own stock in these companies. So please always read our disclosures at redchip.com. Thanks for being with us today. We'll see you next week with some new exciting emerging growth companies.